Surprise!
Are you ready for a very controversial review?
It's going to be pretty controversial. Well, controversial. Why is controversial such a hard word to say? We have a bottle that nobody knew we had. We got surprise.
We managed to score one of these. The Heaven Hill 18.
What we are very fortunate to have been able to score one, and we got it at the retail price of.
We got it for $315. I think retail's $300.
Yeah.
So we basically got it for retail.
Freaking expensive ass bottle.
Yeah. When these first came out on secondary, they were going for like $1,300, and now I think I see them about $800. But yeah.
Crazy.
This is what we're doing.
We got one. We're going to give you guys our review on it today. We're going to tell you our score off of nose, palate, finish. Then we're going to tell you if we'd buy it, if we think it's worth it, and that's what we're going to do.
So this is the Heaven Hill 18. It's released in 2024. It is a mash bill of 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. It's aged at the Bernheim facility, the Bernheim Rickhouse. Aging location, is that 1 or 7? I have no clue what that says.
7I?
7I, 3rd floor. And production date of 12/27/2005. So yeah, that's the basic information on this one.
It's an 18-year-old.
It's an 18-year-old. We love our 18-year-olds.
You know, it's interesting because before we started the stream, we were like comparing it to a bunch of other bottles to try to come up with our final score on it. And one that was super interesting to compare it to is that William Heaven Hill 17.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's talk about this one. Cheers. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you. We love you. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. I usually tell you that later, but I feel like telling you now. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and go check out our Patreon. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Whiskey, bourbon, here we go. On the nose.
There's some nice sweet oak.
There's sweet oak, but it does not give you as much oak as you would think.
Correct.
Like
for an 18-year-old, I was expecting a lot more oak.
On the nose especially.
Sweet, brown sugar, not a ton of cinnamon.
There's no cinnamon.
There's some peanut, like dusty peanut. I get dusty peanut.
Do you want to know what I get?
What?
I get this like really kettle corn note, like vanilla kettle corn, like that buttery, corny, and a nice corny. I'm talking about like refined, beautiful kettle corn. Caramel, it's like a caramel kettle corn bomb. Like it's like you went to the state fair, you smell that kettle corn, you added some of that caramel on it, and then also while you're walking around, you know those pecan things that they're roasting, toasting? Yep. That's what I get a little bit of.
This, I hate to say it, this gives me Knob Creek 18 vibes on the nose. And I will foreshadow, it does on the palate too, for me.
Well, let's taste it. We can tell them what we taste. The nose is very nice.
It's good.
It's very, very nice. I think
it's good. I'm just kind of on the fence with it on the nose.
Bill is just totally underwhelmed.
I am underwhelmed on this. And that's why it's going to be controversial.
I think it smells good.
Yeah, it's good, but I was expecting more.
Yes.
That's the problem. I was expecting more based on being Heaven Hill 18, their heritage collection, once a year release thing.
Right, a special thing, right? This is something super special, and not a lot of people are going to get this, and not a lot of people are going to get to try this. So, I don't know. Let's taste it.
Peanut.
I don't get as much peanut as you're getting. I get a very, very mild nut in there. It is like a toasted pecan or like a toasted peanut without the shell. It's that kind of like a very light creaminess. But the very front of the palate is pretty sweet. It's like that sweet caramel, vanilla. It's rich. When you think of the richness that you get out of like Elijah Craig barrel proofs, that's not in this.
The C923 richness and just candiness you get out of that is just so intense compared to this. It's not there.
It's balanced.
It's balanced.
It's
good.
Creamy. It's crushable. It does not drink like 120 proof.
No, it drinks like 110 to me. Like I said, I'm getting that peanutty. I get like the mid palate kind of goes pretty good, and then I get on the sides of my tongue a little bit of bitterness, which I'm sure is from the oak. But I don't taste a ton of oak in it. Again, I was expecting more. I was expecting an oak bomb out of this.
So where the oak comes through for me, it's just different. So like the front of the palate, I get that sweet caramel, vanilla, some of that like kettle corn I was talking about on the nose. I get like this leathery note in the mid palate, and then it goes into this really to me, it's very rich finish. Incredibly rich finish. It does get oaky. There's a light cherry note in there. There's a nuttiness, and there is this cream soda tingliness that I get on the very back end. And to me, the finish is very, very nice. The flavor is still sitting there in my mouth. I love the finish of this. If I could bottle up the finish on this and take it with me everywhere, I would. The finish is fantastic. But I will say the front mid palate are super underwhelming for what I expected for this. Like, it kind of falls short a little bit. And I don't want to dog on like a very special bottle, but also I want to be honest.
Yeah. So as you can tell, we have differing opinions on this bottle.
But they're not that different.
They are.
I don't think so. We're both underwhelmed.
We are underwhelmed on this one. So let's do score on this, and then let's talk about it a little bit more.
Okay. So my score on this, and I've went back and forth on this several times after tasting other bottles next to this and everything else. I think the only real way to know is if you blinded it. But my score right now is 3.75.
Mine's a 3.5.
So we're really not that far off.
Yeah, but it's just, I was expecting a lot more out of this bottle, especially the $300 price tag, the 18 years old, the rarity of it. Just underwhelming. And we were talking a little bit before this. I was straight up saying, it's like, I don't think this is going to be something I would necessarily reach for on our shelf all the time to go drink. There's other bottles I'll reach for to go drink.
Well, that's because if you want something more rich or something more flavorful or whatever, it's good. Don't get us wrong. This is a good bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
If it was under $100,
yes,
wrong.
Like, I personally, the $300 price point on this, and then it's not worth the money in my opinion. This, if it was at 150, under 200, kind of like a Knob Creek 18, because I tried this to Knob Creek 18 earlier, thought it was kind of similar, especially that new batch.
But also the proof on this is significantly higher.
It is higher, but it's just one of those, it's just, to me. For
$175, this would be
correct.
A buy.
Yep, but at 300.
Although, when we're talking about what the score is and the flavor and everything, like, you seem like you wouldn't buy it at $175.
Because I'm rating it on just the whiskey itself, but then when it comes to the price of it, it's a whole different story. I'm not buying this.
Oh, yeah. No, not on the price. So, our score always just goes nose, palate, and finish, and that's the score we give it. We do not base the score off of the price.
Yep.
Now, if we base the score off the price, the score would be lower.
Well, it'd probably be like a 2.5, 2. Probably 2.5 is my guess if we have price into the score.
But the thing is like, we want to be subjective.
Yeah.
And so
rate the whiskey by itself, and then we'll talk about everything else with it. But this is one of those, like, if you're a big Heaven Hill fan, definitely try it. Try to find a bottle or a pour of it at a bar.
Yes.
Before you drop the money like we did on this.
Which, obviously, the fact, if you like come across a bottle and you want to buy it, just buy it, because you're not going to have that chance again. But at the same time, just be prepared that you could feel underwhelmed about it. I'm not saying everyone's going to feel underwhelmed about it. Some people might think this is the whiskey of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched any other reviews on this yet. I think I did see one score that Breaking Bourbon gave, just because I was curious, but... So,
let's just put it this way. If there was a C923 sitting here, I've had this now, and we've had C923. Because we've had this, would you just reach for that C923 and drink that over this?
Yeah.
Yep, so would I.
Yeah. Unless I wanted something a little bit lower proof or something.
Yeah, this is a little bit lower. But I would reach for a C923 over this. So if you can find C923, in my opinion, you're getting a better whiskey, better value, all of that than this.
Also, if you are ever at, like, Heaven Hill and you have the chance to buy the William Heaven Hill 17-year, that's better than this.
Yeah, and that one's like $290 out the door, I think, at Heaven Hill.
So it is a similar price, but that actually is worth the price.
Yep, that one's better.
That one just has more richness, more flavor, more fullness, which is crazy because it is 17-year-old Heaven Hill at 120 proof. So it is literally the same thing, probably different. I don't know if they're different mash bills.
No, it's all the same. They only have 3 mash bills.
Yeah.
They're their rye mash bill, they're wheated, and they're...
oh, yeah, that's right.
They're just... they're...
So... it's the same mash bill. The same mash bill, just different blend.
So yeah, that's what we got for you.
Let us know if you guys are thinking about going to buy a pour of this, or if you still are like, you know what, I'm going to try to find a bottle of this, I'm going to drink it. Or
did we just save you $300?
Did we? Yeah. Or did we just stop you from like wasting all your effort, and you'll just now go hunt for C923 or William Heaven Hill 17 because those are fantastic. Or you know what? Honestly, just go buy any Elijah Craig barrel proof. That's fine too. Those are great. So that's all we've got for you. We hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch our video. We love you. We appreciate you. I'm Dara.
I'm Bill.
We'll see you next time, right back here on The Average Drinker.